You wake before dawn, the kitchen light still soft, the hum of the refrigerator the only steady thing. Your phone buzzes, another notification from the bank, and for a second your chest tightens as if someone pressed down there. You remember being told, as a child, that more work equals more money, study, grind, sacrifice. You did. You keep doing it. Yet the numbers don't change the way you promised yourself they would. There's a quiet shame that sits like a heavy coat, and sometimes you catch yourself apologizing to the people you love for not giving them the life you envisioned. I just need one break, you whisper to the empty kitchen. Your partner, rubbing sleep from their eyes, offers a soft, tired, "We'll figure it out," and you both look away, not because you don't believe each other, but because the path forward feels invisible. This is where our journey begins, not with a flashy success or a magical overnight solution, but with the honest, tender recognition of how fear and scarcity have been shaping your choices. Imagine for a moment that those beliefs are like a radio tuned to only one station: static, scarcity, and smallness. The law of attraction isn't an escape clause, it's the skill of changing the station. I've walked with people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who carried decades of not enough and found that when we rerouted their inner frequency, alignment, vibration, and focused intent, opportunity stopped feeling like a distant myth and started showing up in practical, measurable ways. You won't get fluff here. In the coming minutes we'll name the exact beliefs that block money, practice simple daily rituals that shift your mood and magnetism, and build a steady routine of affirmations and focus exercises that create momentum. But first, grant yourself permission to drop the heavy coat of shame for a breath. Look at your balance not as a verdict, but as a starting map. Tell me, what is your biggest financial struggle right now? Lack of income, debt stress, or feeling stuck? Like this video if it resonates, leave that word below, and if you want to walk this path step by step, subscribe quietly so you don't miss the next step, crossing the threshold and confronting the first limiting belief. You sit at the kitchen table while the house exhales around you, a coffee gone cold, a stack of unopened bills like small white monuments to stress. The glow of your phone paints your face blue as the banking app flashes numbers that feel like a verdict. Your partner moves through the room with gentle efficiency, but tonight even their words land like small stones. We need to talk about this. You remember the voice that taught you the rules of money: work harder, hustle longer, sacrifice today for a better tomorrow. It was a uniform truth handed down from parents, teachers, and late-night self-help gurus. You did exactly that. You kept going. Still, the knot remains. In that quiet, the shame speaks loudest. You should have figured this out. You're the one who let this happen. The mind becomes a courtroom where your failures are prosecuted in slow, relentless detail. In the middle of that accusation, something softer steps forward, a memory of a different possibility, a conversation with a friend who had once moved from scarcity into steady flow, or a late-night video that mentioned a vibration and alignment in a way that didn't sound like fantasy but like a new language. You felt something shift then, curiosity, not cynicism. You're not broken, I say, not as a lecture but as a hand offered across the table. Picture that small, believable mentor who doesn't promise miracles but teaches you to read your inner weather. You breathe. The knot loosens an inch. The rules that once felt immovable now look like a pattern, learned, repeatable, and therefore changeable. We won't pretend this will be instant. Changing a money story is a journey, not a one-night fix. But there are precise, practical steps that alter your inner frequency and invite opportunity. If this resonates, tap like, it helps others find this message. Tell me below, what word or memory shows up when you think of money? In the next part, we'll begin with the first simple practice that shifts your frequency from scarcity to invitation, and you'll try it right there at your table. The morning light slides across your kitchen table, landing on the pile of envelopes like a verdict. You fold and unfold a bill again, the same knot tightening behind your ribs. A voice, tired, practiced, tells you what you've always been told: work harder, save more, wait longer. Then another voice, quieter and steadier, leans in like a friend who knows the road. Start small, it says. Begin where you are. You listen, skeptical, and the scene tightens to a single exercise. Place your hand over your heart, breathe in for 4 counts, out for 6. The room fills with the ordinary sounds, the kettle hissing, a neighbor's distant radio. You name one belief out loud: I don't deserve abundance. The word tastes familiar and heavy. The guide in your mind doesn't argue. Instead she asks, where did that come from? You remember a childhood lesson, a parent too overwhelmed to celebrate money, a teacher who called ambition dangerous. Memory softens the accusation into context. Then she teaches you the first practical ritual, an affirmation not as a chant for magic, but as an honest reprogramming. Say it quietly at dawn: I am open to receiving money that aligns with my value. Repeat it 3 times, as a promise not to yourself but to the life you want to build. Follow it with gratitude, 3 small things you already have, and a clear, specific intention: 1 sum, 1 purpose, 1 deadline. Write it on a sticky note and place it where you will see it daily. You try it. At first your inner critic mutters, this is nonsense. You answer aloud, clumsy but sincere, I choose to practice anyway. That choice shifts something subtle, a loosening, like a knot unbidden. The vibration I ask you to feel isn't mystical, it's bodily. Notice warmth in your chest, the tiny expansion behind your eyes when you picture paying that overdue account with ease. Hold the feeling for 30 seconds. Release. By noon, a small test arrives, a phone call about a freelance job you almost didn't apply for. It isn't the whole solution, but your heart recognizes opportunity now where before there was static. If this resonates, give a quiet like and tell me in the comments, what belief do you hear most often? Keep this practice, and in the next part, we'll turn this fragile momentum into a steady engine that calls opportunities to you and frees you to act. Subscribe to follow the next step. You sit at the kitchen table, morning light slicing across unpaid bills, phone glowing with the same small number that used to feel like a dare. I lean in, not as a stranger with a checklist, but as the steady voice beside you. Close your eyes for a moment, I say, and you do, because after years of shortcuts and hustle you are ready for a different instruction. Hear the kettle click, the city waking, feel the weight in your chest. That knot is real, and it has a story. We honor it, then we change the narrative. We begin simply: breathe. 3 slow breaths into the belly, long enough to feel the ribs expand. With each exhale, imagine loosening that grip around your heart. I guide you to place a hand over your sternum and name 1 small financial truth, not the shame, but a fact: I have skills. I have value. The voice in your head is stubborn, we speak over it with compassion and clarity. I offer an affirmation you can say aloud: I am open to receiving money that supports my life and growth. Say it twice. Feel the syllables settle into your body like an invitation. Then we anchor a new vibration. Picture a doorway of warm light in front of you, no heavy manifesting jargon, just a clean felt experience of having what you need. What does your day smell like? Who are you with? What does your bank balance support? Hold that sensation for 17 seconds. Let your shoulders drop. A small shift happens, possibility breathing into the space where scarcity used to live. I walk you through a practical routine you can repeat: morning alignment, 5 minutes of breathing and the affirmation; midday check-in, 1 clear intention, written in present tense; evening gratitude, 3 concrete things money made possible today. These are not magic spells, they are momentum builders. We pair feeling with action, a focused outreach, a tiny course taken, a conversation opened. The law of attraction is not wishful thinking, it is directed energy plus consistent steps. If this landed with you, tap like, subtle support goes a long way. Tell me in the comments, what is your biggest financial struggle right now? I read every reply. Stay with me, and next we'll unmask the hidden beliefs still pulling you back and replace them with a practical plan you can live. You sit at the kitchen table, the morning light slicing across last night's bills like a verdict. The phone buzzes, an alert from the bank, and for a moment that old knot resurfaces. But this time you breathe differently. You remember the exercise. Feet on the ground, 3 slow inhales, hum on the exhale until the shoulders soften. The room is ordinary, a chipped mug, a plant reaching for sunlight, a dog at your feet. Yet inside you something has shifted. The voice in your head that used to tighten into panic is met now with a steady question from a voice that feels like your wiser self. What would ease do here? We walk through the rituals together. Picture yourself standing at the window, palms open, declaring a small, concrete affirmation: I am capable of creating steady income. Not a fantasy of overnight riches, but a calm commitment. You say it aloud. The sound grounds you. Then you close your eyes and imagine a simple scene: a client nodding, a check arriving, a door opening. Hold the feeling of relief, not the image of lack. That vibration lures decisions, clearer, kinder, practical decisions, rather than frantic moves. There are tests. A call from an old client who wants to renegotiate. You feel the old fear flare. Pause. Breathe. Respond from alignment, ask clarifying questions, offer value, and set boundaries. The conversation changes tone. This small win, a respectful negotiation instead of capitulation, is the kind of momentum that builds a new story. In the next few days, you put 5 minutes of focused gratitude at the start of each morning, a 2-minute humming practice to raise your frequency before emails, and a nightly note of 3 small wins, however tiny. Money begins to feel less like an adversary and more like a collaborator you can invite in with clear intent. If this resonates, tap the like, and tell me in the comments, what single belief about money are you ready to change? Subscribe so you don't miss the next step, where we take these beginnings and turn them into a daily structure that magnetizes opportunities and makes prosperity predictable. You sit at your kitchen table, bills spread like a weather map of worry, and I lean in, not to lecture, but to show a different route. The first practice I teach is simple and fierce: a morning alignment of 5 minutes. Close your eyes, place a hand over your heart, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 8. Say aloud one clear intention: today I align with opportunities that support my financial well-being. Feel the words land in your chest. This is the vibration shift, not a wish, but a recalibration of your internal frequency to match the life you want. Next comes a minute of gratitude: 3 precise things: the cup of coffee warming your hands, a skill someone close to you praised this week, a small payment that arrived unexpectedly. Gratitude raises your signal. It tells the universe and your own brain that abundance exists even in small measures. Then write one tiny, believable action you will take today toward money: have a call, a budget tweak, applying for one position, listing a skill on a platform. Focused intent ties the inner shift to outer movement. We practice affirmations that feel true, not theatrical. I am open to receiving money that aligns with my values. I am competent and deserving of financial ease. Repeat them slowly in front of a mirror. See the person who will accept what arrives. If doubt creeps in, greet it: I hear you, then return to the breath. I coach you to notice sensations: warmth in the chest, loosened jaw, a lightness behind the eyes, and let those be your cue that vibration is changing. In the living room, I watch you as you imagine an ordinary, tiny scene: answering a call that brings a freelance gig, finding $20 in an old coat pocket, and allow the feeling of relief to wash through your body. This is scripting: detailed, sensory, believable. Finish each practice by asking, what inspired action will I take next, and commit to one concrete step. If this resonates, like this video and tell me in the comments, what single intention will you set today? Subscribe quietly to keep walking this path. Next, we'll test these practices against real resistance: the call you dread, the unexpected bill, and how to hold your vibration steady when life pushes back. I watch you at the kitchen table, morning light cutting across unpaid bills and your phone open to the bank app. Your jaw tightens the moment the numbers blink into view, a familiar, heavy knot. I don't offer platitudes. I lean in with a question instead: what if this knot is not proof of failure, but a signal pointing to what needs to change inside you? You breathe, skeptical, and I tell you a story of a woman named Marta who, at 48, held the same silence about money. She believed harder work alone would fix everything. She worked more, slept less, and felt poorer by the day. We begin with small, steady practices that honor your reality while shifting your frequency. In the soft light of your living room, I guide you through a simple ritual: 3 grounding breaths, eyes closed, feeling weight in your feet, anchored, then listing, aloud, 3 things that already feel abundant: a roof, a friend who listens, the warmth of coffee. Marta laughs once, surprised at how expansive she feels. I didn't think gratitude could matter when the bill screamed, she says. I reply, it's not denial. It's re-aiming your signal. Next comes focused intent. You write a clear, plausible financial goal on a card, not vague wishes, but a precise next step: negotiate one overdue invoice, reach out to one old client, set up a small weekly savings automatic transfer. We attach feeling to it. Imagine, I prompt, the relief when that invoice clears. Hold that relief in your body. Your shoulders drop. The knot loosens. Then we practice the vibrational exercise. For 3 minutes each morning, you stand, breathe in prosperity as warmth rising through you, exhale scarcity as a grey mist. No mystical fluff, it's rehearsal. Rehearse the person who handles money calmly, who takes aligned action without panic. Marta's voice trembles the first week, then steadies. She notices small doors opening, a client reply, a late payment cleared, a new idea for income. You begin to recognize saboteurs, old stories that whisper, you're not enough. I teach you to meet them with curiosity, name them, and redirect to evidence. If this resonates, tap like, share in the comments what your biggest financial struggle is, and subscribe to stay with me, because next, we'll step into the first real test that forces you to choose alignment over old survival habits. You sit at your kitchen table at dawn, light slanting across unpaid bills, a mug of coffee gone lukewarm as you reread the same bank notification for the 3rd time. The old voice, the one that equates worth with struggle, whispers its familiar script. I lean closer in the story now, not to promise magic, but to show you how a small, deliberate inner shift can change the outer pages of your life. Remember Anna, a 48-year-old graphic designer? She learned to treat those morning moments like the crossroads they are. Instead of spiraling, she practiced a 2-minute ritual: breathe, name 3 things she already had, and picture one clear next step. The knot loosened enough for a single, decisive choice. Am I allowed to want more? She asked me once, eyes wet with exhaustion. You're not just allowed, I said, you're designed for it. That permission changed her tone. She stopped bargaining with scarcity and began aligning with possibility. Within weeks, a former client called, asking her to lead a new project. A small freelance gig turned into steady income because she showed up calmer, clearer, and more confident. The money followed opportunities, not frantic chasing. This is the practical core. Alignment creates receptive momentum. You don't ignore bills or hard work, you change how you move toward them. Start with language, swap I can't afford for I'm making room. Use an anchor, a breath, a note on your phone, a phrase you repeat when doubt creeps in. Then add focused intent, a short, vivid scene in your mind of what financial freedom feels like. Feel it in your chest for 30 seconds. That vibrating feeling signals your system to notice matching circumstances. It's small, repeatable, and cumulative. I'll ask you now, quietly, what single money belief would you be willing to release this week? If this resonates, tap like and share one line below, scarcity or possibility, and consider subscribing so you don't miss the next practical session where I guide you through a 5-minute daily routine that rewires how money meets you. Next, we'll move from feeling to doing, concrete steps to attract the first real opportunity. You wake before dawn, the house still warm from last night's conversation, and for the first time in months you don't reach for your phone to stare at numbers. Instead, you stand at the kitchen window with a mug warming your hands, breathe in the cool morning and say aloud, I am ready for what wants to come to me. It feels strange at first, a small rebellion against years of fear, and then you smile. That single, steady phrase becomes your anchor. Later, as you walk to the bus or sit at your desk, you repeat it quietly, letting it reshape the space behind your collarbones where tension used to live. At work, your inner critic whispers, this is wishful thinking. You answer from the new place of practice, thank you for trying to protect me. I am choosing to respond differently. A colleague glances up. You sound calmer, they say. I had a rough night, but I'm trying something new, you reply. The exchange is ordinary, but inside it feels like a turning point, a tiny ripple that will meet the river. I show you how to pair intention with action, 5 minutes of focused visualization each morning, a short list of precise desires written in present tense, and a simple vibrational exercise. Hum for 20 seconds and feel the chest loosen. You learn to notice when scarcity speaks and to deliberately shift to curiosity. What opportunity might this problem be pointing toward? When a bill arrives, instead of tightening, you place your hand over your heart and say, I am clearing space for good things. Money decisions become clearer. You catch yourself considering creative solutions instead of retreating. There are setbacks, an unexpected expense, a doubt that returns like weather. You meet these not with shame but with practical inquiry. Where did this belief come from, and what evidence truly supports it? You journal one honest answer and one small corrective step. Slowly, momentum builds. A client asks to extend a project, a neighbor offers a referral. The balance on the screen nudges up and you allow yourself to feel the gratitude without rushing to explain it away. If this resonates, give this video a like. It helps others find these methods. Tell me below, what is your biggest financial struggle right now? Share it and we'll turn it into the next step together. Subscribe to stay with me. In the final segment I'll show you a clear, day-by-day plan to lock in this new frequency and invite sustained abundance. You stand by the window again, same morning light, but something has shifted, not the balance in your account, not yet, but the quiet inside you. The knot that used to tighten when you checked your phone loosens like a tide pulling back, revealing room to breathe. I see you there, hands wrapped around a warm mug, mind replaying the old instruction, work harder, earn more. Tonight you learned another truth, your energy matters as much as your effort. You practiced small rituals, spoke clear affirmations, and tuned your attention like an instrument. The road didn't disappear, obligations remain, bills still exist, but the way you meet them is different. You have a frequency now that invites opportunities instead of repelling them. Remember the night you almost gave up and I asked you to speak to the version of yourself who already had what you want? I am deserving. I am capable. You felt silly at first, then steady. That inner conversation changed the trajectory. In the kitchen later, you caught yourself pausing before a purchase, asking whether it aligned with the life you were calling in. Decisions became gateways, not traps. You began to notice small coincidences, a call from an old contact, a helpful article, a client who said yes. These are the first breadcrumbs of momentum, not magic out of thin air, but the universe responding to a clearer signal. This is your return from the journey, not to the person you were, but to life lived with wiser intent. Take these practices beyond this video. Set a short daily ritual, write one focused intention each morning, and use a vibrational exercise when fear rises. Track small wins, celebrate them, adjust without judgment. If this transformation touched you, a simple gesture helps others find it too, like this video so more people can begin. Tell me below, what is your biggest financial struggle right now? Lack of income, debt stress, or feeling stuck? Share one detail. I read every response and we'll turn it into your next triumph together. If you want guided exercises and the next step on this path, subscribe. I'll bring practical sessions and gentle challenges to keep shifting your frequency. Your wealth story is not finished, it's just beginning.